Hello and welcome to the explanation video for lesson 4 of the kindergarten force and motion unit. So in this lesson, if you're new to ASSIST, we have kind of a way that we have students enter kind of this claims and evidence and eventually reasoning type of thinking. So we start out after you've done the investigation. So last lesson, they pushed and pulled objects at different strengths. And now we're going to have them try to explain what happened. So I always tell teachers to begin by just saying, why do you think it moved farther? Why did it? And hopefully they'll say we pushed it harder. Now, what we like to do with ASSIST Science is we really want to engage in really good scientific argumentation. And good scientific argumentation not only provides evidence for the right idea, it also looks at competing ideas and explains why they're not correct. So for this one, you're not going to use the thinking logs at all, but you're definitely going to use the instructional slides. So we have, and some teachers like to just go straight into this, the competing ideas. I always like to give the kids the opportunity to explain it on their own first. I think that's always a good idea. But we have these two competing ideas. And, you know, if a kid doesn't come up with this other idea, you can just say, oh, last year's class, this is what we argued about. So the two competing ideas here are some people think the objects move farther when they're pushed or pulled harder. And then the other idea is other people think that when we push or pull an object harder, it goes the same distance. So we're really just trying to get them to think about this concept is the more force you apply to something, the farther it's going to travel. That's the basic idea here. So we're going to present these two competing ideas, and then we're going to have them explain why. Now, hopefully all the kids will kind of coalesce around this idea, and that's okay. Who knows, you might have a few kids that think, no, they always go the same distance, even if you push it hard. But what you can do is present the second idea. You could say, okay, who has some evidence for this first idea? If you think this is the right idea, how do you know? And hopefully they'll say, well, we did it yesterday. When we pushed it yesterday, our car went farther. Or they could even show their data. They could pull out the page from the thinking log of, look, when we pushed and pulled it harder, it went farther than when we pushed and pulled it soft. So what you can do is go to the second idea, go, well, what about this idea though? Some people think this, are they wrong? And then hopefully they'll be like, yeah, and then tell me why. So then this will actually go into the next lesson. The next lesson, we're going to do some reading. So it depends how long this takes. If all you do is just have them kind of argue and it goes pretty quick, everybody kind of, goes to that first idea, you could then just go into the lesson 5. So I guess I'll kind of just continue here. But what we want them to really think about is we want them to be open-minded. So we'll say things like, it's okay if you're not sure right now. It'll require more work to figure out the right answer. Just think about what you know and be open to learning more. Write down your ideas in your thinking log. So these are just kind of some messages, and then we say, okay, it's time to read. And I'll leave it there and we'll describe the next lesson there, but this might lead into the next one.